Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Jess, and this is the Roll for Movie podcast. I'm here with my two best friends and my co-hosts, Brian.
Hi.
And Mick.
Hey.
And this is a podcast where each week we take dice and roll for a new movie to watch on a list of cult classics we made with the help of the internet. We have 12 genres and a ton of nostalgia to get through. Here's the catch. I have not seen most of these movies, while my co-hosts have seen almost all of them. So please join us while we compare their nostalgia, my surprise, and several other opinions on this journey through hundreds of the internet's favorite movies. Okay, so this week we are on the Wolf of Wall Street episode. We rolled 6 for the genre, which is based on a true story. In that genre, we rolled number 6, which happened to be Wolf of Wall Street. Going into it, actually, Brian and I had both seen this. Mick, have you seen this movie before we watched it?
I have.
You have seen it before you watched it this time?
For sure.
Okay. Actually, really quick, before we get further, Mick, why don't you tell us a little bit about how you know us, what brought you here?
Well, Jessica, how I say it, is my best friend. She's always been. I ended up marrying her brother, who is my husband.
Still sorry for that.
A pretty cool son named Christopher. Brian came into the fact because he's my best friend's best friend, other than me, obviously. And so, yeah, it's just been, I love hanging out with them, love having some drinks, doing what we're doing right now.
On top of that, though, you are like kind of a movie connoisseur. You like...
I do. I loved movies as a kid. It was my thing. I was the youngest of 3 siblings. They were 10 years older than me, so I was often left alone. And so I was like, let me fucking fire up these movies. So that was my thing.
Okay. Is there any nostalgia you want to share with us about The Wolf of Wall Street specifically before we talk about it?
I mean, not really. It wasn't made that long ago.
Yeah.
I think Chris was probably like 5 or 6 when this came out. All right. So, yeah, I mean, coming from like where I wasn't a mom to where I am a mom is entirely different.
You see things
So
different.
I see it in an entirely different light.
2013?
I am sure.
I thought Jim said it was 2019, and I was like, no way, but
Oh, no, it's definitely not 2019.
Yeah.
I thought it was a lot longer ago.
It's 2013.
So basically, I watched it from before I was a mom and then now as a mom.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it definitely changed my opinion.
We don't have to say a specific scene, but would you say there's like, when I told you the movie we were going to watch, was there something that popped into your mind that we're going to talk about tonight? Like, was there a moment that you think will come up tonight?
Well, I always loved when he was crawling to his, like, Corvette or whatever the hell it was, trying to, like, after he'd take the Quaaludes.
Yes.
Because I have literally always wanted a Quaalude. Like, it's honestly one of my top fucking things on my, like, if I'm going to die tomorrow, I like a Quaalude.
Yeah,
And
there's
that's
a
me.
quote in this movie where he says, I refuse to die sober or something
There
to
is.
that.
Yeah, like when they're
In the
on
boat.
the, because
Yeah.
I would be the same. I'm like, give me the pills. You know? I ain't going to.
Where are the Quaaludes?
Yeah, if I'm going to die in a fucking ocean incident, I
Yeah.
would be, you know.
I feel like you would be there keeping Jim and Chris safe, however, requesting anybody else in the room to go get the drugs.
Yeah, I'd be fucked up and they'd be safe, but
All right, so
Safety is the only thing that matters.
on my list here, it is from 2013. B, you can fact check that for us if I'm wrong.
I'm pretty sure you're correct now.
Thank you, I usually am. So we'll do a quick summary. This movie is 3 hours long. It is a journey, it is a jaunt, it is a commitment. However, it begins with our main character, Jason. Leo is played by Leo, starting off in New York, wanting to get into stockbroking, falling in love with the shit show that is stockbroking immediately. And then, I believe the year is 1986, October 13th, something like that, I'm guessing, fam. And you see the stock market fall apart and he loses his job. He then ventures off and meets a friend, his best friend for the rest of the movie, where they create their own stock market selling penny stocks. And they quickly turn that idea into selling rich people penny stocks, which I think translates eventually, and I'm not very versed in the stock market, but it does seem to translate eventually into more expensive stocks.
they were getting 50% profit.
Also, what they were doing is that they would sell the stock to raise the price of the stock. and then they would buy the majority, and then they would sell
Yeah,
at a huge thing, and then everybody else would lose money.
for sure.
There's a term for that.
It's called illegal.
That's why he
Term.
went to prison.
Well, spoiler alert. I hope
Oh, sorry,
everybody's watched
sorry.
it before listening. No, I'm just kidding. So we see his journey with not only the stock market, his job, learning how to break the law better, essentially. He creates his company, he buys new buildings, he hires new people. He also has a journey with his
Bunch
wife.
of prostitutes and strippers. You left those out.
Yes, a
You'll
bunch.
see it over.
That was gonna be section 3. He also has a journey with his wife where he buys her nice things and transitions into kind of leaving her by the
He didn't
wayside.
seem like a fan of the nice things.
No, and
He's
never.
like, why are you fucking over poor people? You should be fucking over rich people.
Yeah, she had a conscience, which he did not.
Which, unfortunately, that specific statement, which I have to believe that had to happen to some effect for the real gentleman. His name is Jason Jordan.
He's not a gentleman.
The
No,
real,
by any means.
But
the real dude.
the douchebag.
Yeah. High five.
She says something to the effect of, don't you feel like these people, these poor people, should get their money back, even though you're just trying to make money? And that gives him the idea to progress his company even further.
She actually gave him the idea to
Yeah, he
sell his penny stocks.
or he twisted her words. And mind you, this is based on a real movie or true story movie, but it's always exaggerated. So
It's also based off his book, and I've always wondered, like, is it based off the book or is it based off his experience, or like, can we bring other people that knew him into it? Because I feel like from his standpoint, he's obviously a narcissist, and so he's gonna like inflate himself the entire time. And I feel like that's what the whole movie is. And
Except for
then
the
there is a
11
crash
seconds, he
out.
didn't inflate that.
Yeah. Well, I think that's where Scorsese takes in, where you inflate it and you listen to him, and then the rest of the half of the movie is the downfall of it.
it is interesting because it is based on his book and it states that in the credits. However, they don't necessarily make him out to be a good guy at any point. There's
Yeah.
no like,
I feel like he knew he was a douchebag his entire life, or at least until he started doing what he
I don't think he ever
I don't
knew.
think he ever had awareness of it.
Really?
No.
I feel like he knew he was a bad person.
No.
I think he was pumped when Scorsese took up the film because he thought that he would look really good.
Yeah,
Really? Oh,
I totally agree with Mick on that.
like, you guys.
I don't-
I'm just saying, if I put myself in his I would think I'm a douchebag.
Right,
So
but that's why you're
That's
not
'cause
rich.
You're a normal person.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's
Also, thank you.
that.
Somewhat normal.
That speaks a lot to like though his journey, right? He starts off like semi-normal. He's happily married. He wants a future with this really normal chick that cuts hair for a living. And when he starts transitioning into this person where money and perspective is more important, he gives her that bracelet, right? And that's when she's kind of like, thanks, but no thanks. You could tell. And that's when she's kind of like, okay, you're getting the money, but are you doing the right thing?
And also, how'd you get them? Yeah, like, how'd you get the money?
Exactly. And,
'Cause he
and
talks about, like, plumbers and, like, ordinary people.
mail
buying-
postman is a
Yeah.
big, yeah. And she says, are you doing the right thing? And what he hears is, are you attacking the right people? We could be attacking richer people. And he twists her words into a lesson of, if I make my team sound smarter, we can go after people with more money.
Everybody was a vice president. He gave
Executive.
everybody. Yeah.
If ever, yeah, and but he gives everybody the same script to read off of, and that turns into them attacking people with more money. But it doesn't change the fact that what they're selling them is lies. So he doesn't change the error. He takes her statement and makes it into more money.
My question is this: after he starts attacking the rich, though, is he more of a Robin Hood, or is he still a douchebag?
Still a douchebag.
Still a douchebag.
Yeah.
Well,
I
because
mean, it's all based on lies. And so, in my opinion, regardless of what you're doing, it doesn't matter who you're doing it to, you're a douchebag.
so when you hear Robin Hood, B, what's the saying? Go ahead and give us the saying.
Take money from the wealthy and give it to the poor. But he didn't get. Well, he kind of did. His people were poor.
No, but he never gave it out. He pocketed it.
But he also, like, if you, what was that one secretary lady? I don't think she was a secretary.
Or he gave her a loan.
Was it a loan?
Yeah, the
It's a
25,000.
loan.
Oh, he was a douchebag.
So this is what he does. In his mind, he's saying, like, I think I even wrote it down somewhere, where he was like, we're helping the kids. He said, if you're a
Yeah,
rich
that's what I picked
person,
up on.
if you're rich, then you can do good. Like, you're better as a rich person, which statistically is
It's
untrue.
incorrect.
But in his mind, if he paid for somebody's college, if he, helped that single mom out with a loan, then he's just such a good person. When
I
in
didn't catch the
reality,
loan
he's
part.
going to expect something from them instead of just doing it out of the kindness of his heart.
Okay, so I
I
totally.
didn't know she caught the. Sorry, we interrupted.
No. I totally agree with both of those things, but I think that it proves that all three of us have a lot to say about this movie. So let's get through the summary real quick.
Perfect.
And then we can kind of talk about the steps that took us there. So, as we all just kind of mentioned, there's a journey of him going from renting out a warehouse with his crack best friend to buying more offices to becoming pretty powerful in the society. But even when he's powerful, his main focus is like, how can this benefit me? He's already making all the money, he's already doing all these things, and his business meetings become about what can we do? Well, he talks about bringing in entertainment into the office, right? And they're meeting about that versus how they can actually grow the business. And that speaks a lot. So as you see him go through it, he ends up cheating on his wife with this blonde female.
Margot Robbie.
She's Naomi in the movie.
She's gorgeous in real life. I don't know if you've ever looked her up.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm not disappointed in their choice of actress. Like,
She's gorgeous.
at one point he says, I think I'm already in love. And I honestly kind of agreed. It's like, me too. Same. And, he gets caught cheating, but when he says we had multiple interests in common, the interests shown are drugs and sex and this life of money. And she totally was like, sure, you're going to pay for this. I'm in. Let's go.
Yeah.
He gets caught by his wife. All right, let me back up a tidbit. Their very first sexual encounter, he goes upstairs and
Gave it to her for 11 seconds.
a strong 11 seconds.
And then he had to give himself the old jerk off to keep himself hard, and maybe they had something fun after that. I doubt she was satisfied, though.
Yeah, she makes it pretty clear she
Seemed
wasn't.
thrilled in
Yeah,
the movie.
she was kind of like, really?
Which, like, from that moment on, it makes you realize that she was in this for the reasons that we all think she was in this for.
Yeah.
100%.
I mean, and good for her, honestly.
Right. She got to live a life that she never would have lived without him. And
I think I don't know. She was a model before, wasn't she? They make pretty good money.
She was with some guy when they walked in. I don't know
yeah,
who
in the
that guy
party, she
was.
was with some older
Yeah,
dude.
I'm not really sure.
I think that the extensiveness of their lifestyle, though, she wouldn't have reached without him.
No, because he was.
The
That's
wedding
why she
present to
left
her
her.
was a yacht. Dude, like, that ain't a life she was going to live without him.
That's fair.
That's why that guy was trying to pull her away.
Yeah, and he
Like
knew it. He
that.
knew it when they met. So they proceed. He asks for a divorce 3 days later from his wife, and they proceed to create a family together, have 2 kids throughout the movie, while he continues to grow the company. His father becomes a character who's essentially like his accountant, I guess.
Yeah, like I almost think he like keeps the books or something.
Yeah, like a
Because he's always
bookkeeper.
saying like, "What the fuck
Why
are you
just spend
doing?"
$400,000 on a single dinner?
Yeah,
So he would know that because he's keeping track
yeah.
for tax
That
purposes.
scene was hilarious, by the way.
It's really good when all of his friends are. It reminds you of like you as a
The
teenager.
IRS accepts TNA.
Yeah, except it's like millions of dollars.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh yeah, for the lunch you guys had." He's like, "What the fuck is $26,000?"
Yeah, but like for us, it would have been like $30 at Taco Bell.
Yeah.
Pissing off dad of like
Taco Tree.
Oh, Taco Tree,
Specifically,
Taco Tree, yeah.
Shout out to Auburn.
But upsetting dad. How did you spend $35 at Taco Tree? Well, we got nachos
Fucking
and
nachos, man.
but like what a transition, right? Like we don't even understand that life. Essentially, dad tells him, "Hey, this is your moment. You can bail. You can get out scot-free right now. However, you have to pass off the company." He realizes that in that moment, the kids are more important. Naomi is more important. He agrees to pass off the company, but while he's giving his goodbye speech, he kisses his own ass.
Douchebaggery shows
He
so
couldn't
hard.
let it go. His ego took over.
His
He
ego
needed
took
it.
over.
Yeah.
Douchebaggery.
Yeah, it's so big that he's like, nah, like, fuck that. You all want me to stay? Of course I'm going to stay. And I think
Fuck my family.
that's the beginning of his downfall, right? Like,
Because, like I was saying to you earlier, I don't think he ever actually wanted the family.
Right.
It was an image thing, right? Like, you have this amount of money, you have the wife, you have the kids, you do what you do, and that's what it is. But as far as ever actually wanting the kids or wanting the wife, I don't think he ever really did.
no. I mean, he wants the idea of it, like you said.
Yeah, he wants the image of it.
This continues to have the FBI increase their investigation into his illegal activity, which becomes more and more of a factor. Continue to work with Jordan and let him run the company while the FBI continues to do their investigation on him behind the scenes. There's a really good scene where his best friend, the number 2 of the company, I can't remember his name.
Donnie.
Donnie,
Yeah.
thank you.
What's his face? Jonah Hill.
Jonah Hill,
Yeah.
also great actor and does a wonderful job. He ends up messing up the transition of money to try to send their money to Switzerland to the Swedish banks and gets their friend arrested.
Rad.
Yeah, and to make up for it, he brings the ultimate Quaalude. Lemons?
Lemons. It was like lemon 415 or something.
Yeah, too
Fucking
much fun.
dicks.
I also like when Jordan broke the fourth wall and said, if you don't know what Quaaludes are, I raised my hand and said, I'm part of that crowd. I actually didn't know what Quaaludes were and appreciated the...
Also had no idea what Quaaludes are.
So what...
Well, my mom grew up in the 60s, so I've heard of Quaaludes.
He said something to the effect of they were originally a sleep medicine prescribed to housewives to help them go to sleep. And then it was quickly...
Like, hook it up, you know?
It was quickly realized that if you fight past that sleep period,
Like that 15-minute window, yeah.
that there's this extreme high, and that just kept escalating with the different types of Quaaludes. So he goes from this house. They start taking the Quaaludes, they start taking the lemons, and nothing's happening. They think that they're expired, so they take the whole bottle. Then he gets a call from his lawyer, which I want to question a little bit the timeline of cell phones at that time, because he was just on a full-on cell phone that wasn't plugged in. There was no wire.
Yeah.
I have some questions.
Was it one of those really big ass thick ones?
It
Really?
wasn't.
No, it really wasn't.
Was
And it
it
wasn't
in his
plugged
car?
in.
Yes, and he was driving, and there was
Oh,
no...
they had. Wait, hold on. Oh, there's no wire.
There's no wire.
wire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't catch that.
And I caught it mainly because he said, go find a payphone. And those timelines were very specific, those crossovers. So anyway, he travels a mile down the road to a golf club, and he starts feeling the effects while he's on the phone with his lawyer, who's telling him all the phones in his house are bugged.
Also, he drove there successfully, no problem.
Right,
no
because,
trouble.
yeah, the Quaaludes has not kicked in yet. The lemon drops have not dropped. They quickly kick in, and what was the name of his it was cerebral palsy stage?
Yeah, the cerebral palsy stage.
And
He went
kinda
from nothing
Yeah.
to cerebral palsy, and he had the full arm and everything.
pink on the floor, which
sounds fun.
it does sound fun.
Does not sound fun to me.
I don't understand why you'd want that, but I think they just took too
I
much.
more have concerns with the way, like the realism of it playing out. Somebody would have noticed, but we're letting that go. One
Of my favorite parts though is when he throws himself down the stairs.
Yes.
And so I do love when he like talks about his like morning routine, and he talks about like everything he takes, and then he's like, and morphine, because it's awesome.
I love that scene. Now, I was going to talk about that.
Where you break the fourth wall.
The fourth wall breaks are amazing.
Yes.
That one where it's the very beginning, he talks about his daily routine.
He has a little mimosa.
He has a mimosa and throws.
Yeah.
Yes, I love. That's one of my favorite scenes.
And
Quaaludes in the mansion and all the
The
money.
butler, the maids.
Yes, we're
But
very
I
poor.
also look that good in a suit. So I really appreciate the process of I can crawl down these stairs. It was incredibly exhausting to watch.
So I would have never rolled. I'm not sure why he didn't just
I
scoot
would have
himself down.
100% tried to roll down the stairs
Because,
like that.
like, when he rolled, it looked like, 40 stairs.
Oh,
And
yeah.
in reality, it was like 6.
Yeah.
So just
Yeah.
scoot yourself just like you're doing
I
now.
feel like, though, B, you would have rolled from the phone. Like, you would have never
Oh, yeah.
scooted.
I wouldn't have crawled like a baby. I would have...
Yeah. And you would have
100%.
puked halfway through from being dizzy.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I haven't puked from much things, but I'm pretty sure.
So I really appreciate that scene. I also really appreciate the follow-up where he talks about driving home a mile, that intoxicated.
And then, yeah.
And
he's
then
like,
was
thank
totally
God I
fine.
made it. Yeah.
drove slowly, safely, all the things. I think that's a really important part, right? Because that shows
Yeah.
like the poor decision making versus the reality.
To be fair, I think it was a good decision when Donnie was choking to grab his little vial and fucking pour it down his nose.
Yeah, so that's the next scene,
I
right?
think that was a really good call.
Yeah, he turned into
The whole.
not the whole
Popeye.
Yeah,
he drank
because he
the
was watching
spinach,
it. Yeah,
but
yeah,
his
yeah.
version.
Well, he snorted the spinach.
all right,
He was a hero in that moment.
in the moment, he became a hero of his own, which it does make you think, like, if you zoom out, because then the next scene is the car scene and the driving. So what was that scene actually from, like, the sober wife's point of view? Because it wasn't what we saw.
That's one of my favorite things to
was
like think
hilarious.
about is who is close proximity with him and can actually say
Yeah.
it without that like only one perspective,
And I do feel like we get like a halfway version of that because it does show him like flex
I
unnecessarily.
feel like it's always inflated. I think it's,
Dramatized.
he loved the fact that Leonardo DiCaprio was playing him.
Oh,
Guarantee you.
yeah,
I
that makes
mean,
sense.
this guy's probably jerking off to the thought of his own self. So
Speaking of that,
Allegedly.
this was the downfall of his own self. This was kind of the beginning of the end because while he was trying to roll down the stairs, his best friend was in his own house on a tapped wire calling the Swedish bank, telling them about all this money that was supposed to be
The
transferred.
only good thing was, though, he wasn't able to talk.
Yeah, but he said enough.
Well, yeah.
Right? He said enough. I think we can fast forward a bit. We don't need to go through all the details of
3 hours.
3 hours of the cops kind of taking over. Naomi, the wife, Margot, beautiful.
So hot.
Yeah, 10 out of 10, telling him that it's over, we're divorcing. Him actually agreeing to become sober and wear a wire and give up his friends. I will say the one part that B and I discussed after the movie, because we watched it together, was did the best friend, what's the best friend's name again? Donnie actually hand them that note, or was this a note they just happened to find when they did their raid?
Slipped Donnie the note, right?
Right, so he slipped Donnie the note, but
But Donnie covered it up with a napkin
That's-
at the end.
that's the note they used to arrest Jordan.
Yeah, that was the whole reason he was able to be.
So they kind of leave that unclosed. Like, did Donnie rat him out eventually? Did they just find that note?
Well, I'm sure, just from Donnie's character, that he probably did.
Yeah.
Also, though, when the FBI raided them, it did show Donnie in the computer going enter delete, enter delete, enter delete, enter delete. Like he was trying to delete as many files as possible.
For sure. No, we know Donnie was trying to get out of trouble.
Trash person.
But I think he was more trying to get out of his own trouble than.
100%. I think.
But I'm just saying, like, I think the point they were trying to make is Jordan did try to quote unquote save his best friend,
But his best friend turned it in.
but it backfired. So
Is it him more trying to look like not a rat?
yeah, is it
That's kinda what I'm
save his
getting.
own ass or his
Yeah.
best friend? I think save his
I
own
think
ass.
he's trying to look like he's not a.
So it all kind of wraps up with Jordan, that's his name, right? Yeah, going to court, getting sentenced with, I think, 3 years for some fraud. And then, honestly,
It was like 1 year served, right?
I don't know how many years were served, but even that, they just show him serving tennis balls.
Playing
because
tennis,
it
yeah.
comes full circle that he even says it in the fourth wall commentary that I forgot I have money and I'm white and I can just make decisions. And he, even if you look at the guard, the sniper guard on the tower, he's in a suit instead of a sheriff's gear.
Notice that.
I did specifically notice that.
Yeah, it's very apparent that it's
Yeah, he's even dressed
A
nice.
white collar.
an upper class prison.
Yeah. And then at the very, very end, we see Jordan's motivational speech class come back up, and he's in a room full of people. His eyes are bloodshot. There's bags under his eyes, and he is trying to teach them how to
Sell me this pen.
sell a pen or just sell things in general. That's kind of the summary. I think we did an okay job. It's a journey.
It's a
3
long-
fucking hours.
It's a long movie.
Yeah. But I think the first thing we should do is take the nostalgia goggles off. And Mick, why don't you kick us off? Like, coming back to this movie, you've seen it before. How did you feel like re-watching it for like in this moment?
So rewatching it was like, I didn't really pick up on the douchebaggery of it all, I guess. The first time I watched it. I was like, that Coke, the Quaaludes, that all looks like a pretty good deal. So I understand why people would be drawn to it. I mean, 2013, what was I, like 19 or 20?
Yeah.
So, I was
20.
just coming off those years when I had fun. So it looked fun for me. But then when you get older, it's just not as fun,
Right. You can see the
it's
negatives
sad. It's
bigger.
really sad. It's like you see how easily people get drugged down by it and their potential, and like the fact that what really bothers me through the whole movie is like all of a sudden he has a kid, like 2 kids, and like we don't ever get to hear anything about that.
Right. It's not important enough in
Yeah,
his version
like,
of the
and he
story.
didn't even write about that in his book.
When he leaves, after she tells him he's going to get divorced, he only picks up the one kid.
Yeah,
But the whole time, Margot Robbie, that Naomi, is referring to like kids.
Well, there is a baby, but that kind of speaks to the fact that it's just about him making a scene, right?
yeah.
He doesn't actually want his kids. He just
No.
doesn't want Naomi to win.
Douchebaggery.
And even when he's like, so it's the scene where they're watching his kid on the horse, like getting horse lessons, and they're telling him like, dude, you can walk away scot-free.
Yeah.
As long as you just sign the company over. And he couldn't do it. His ego wouldn't let him. He had everything. So everything that he was already doing illegally, he could have gotten away with.
He could have wrapped it up.
And he could have had, $48 million or whatever the hell it was, and then lived his fucking life and never worked a day. But he couldn't, his ego literally couldn't let him do it. So, I
He
mean,
built that company.
yeah. I don't know, fucking leave it. And it's like, so that scene, like when I was younger, was like, okay.
It just passed through.
But now I'm like, ugh. I don't know. I feel like it was more of, I watched it as a younger kid, and now I watch it as a mom, and like a mom of a son.
Yeah.
And I cannot fucking imagine my son turning out like that. That big of a piece of shit. Can't even imagine it. So,
What's the difference here? Nostalgia versus how you felt watching it.
Similar to hers, actually. When I first watched it, I was like, oh, this looks fun. But literally, I wrote down while watching, this lifestyle looks exhausting.
exhausting for sure.
I also felt
Exhausting.
tired. It's like,
Yeah.
when does he sleep?
Like, what? Like, now if you have a hangover, it takes like 3 days to recover. It didn't show any of that. I don't know how old he was in the movie, but
He started at 22,
22.
right?
yeah. So he
And-
must have been
yeah.
in his early 20s throughout the movie.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Because if this happened later in life,
Had he been in his 30s,
he'd be like, oh, fuck this.
and we're
I'm
all
turning
watching,
you all in.
we're all like,
Fuck y'all.
talking from our 30s, so.
From my perspective, obviously, this is one of the movies I had seen before we were recording. Everybody, give a clap out to that.
Yeah, I wasn't sure.
Yeah. Thank you, B.
One of them rare ones.
Laugh out.
She hasn't, never mind.
I mean, I think it's same thoughts you guys had of this is poor choices, this is selfish choices, seeing it very differently now, but also I was able to like focus way more on like the cinematography of it and seeing like the fourth wall breaks were some of my favorite scenes. Like,
And then so all of a sudden, like, he's in the middle of everything, and then he walks towards the camera, and the camera's following back.
Yeah,
Like, that's my jam. I like.
out of all,
What is that, Steady Cam?
It's a big part of this Margot Robbie.
Well, yeah, but like I think those moments I really focused on more because the rest of it was exhausting, like you guys said. Like,
Exhausting. I couldn't imagine living that life.
I think there was a lot of really fun moments, but this movie wasn't exactly like super deeply made. Like, I don't think, take out all the drama and the excitement, you don't really buy into the characters that much. You don't really,
I think you don't unless you're like 20-something years old.
right? And I think that's when we
Especially
watched
men,
it.
right? And that's what I worry
That's
about.
the dream. And
Yeah.
then now
We do have like an era of like boys which are turning into men, and that's what they want. They're like, they want to be finance bros, and it's exhausting to even like hear about it.
Okay, so I think this is the perfect time to skip to our fire starters, our thoughts, our hot takes, our spicy, bold opinions. I'll give my first one first, and then we'll kind of go around taking turns here. I have a couple, not too many, but just for new listeners, new people, this is kind of moments or thoughts that came across for us that we want to throw out there that everybody may not agree with. But my very first one, and I will say this was early on, this was when he was very first introduced to Wall Street, when he went to, and he was a little kind of young white boy that went to Wall Street. Wall Street guys are just truckers in suits with more money. They have horrible mouths. They don't give a fuck. They have no respect, but they think that whatever comes out of their mouth is more important than anything else.
I would say it's more along than truckers.
Yeah, I feel like truckers are making an honest living.
No.
usually,
I mean, but you know how people talk
Or
about
sailors.
People talk about truckers having trash mouths, and sailors is a good one, like having these horrible mouths, just not respecting anything. That's how this was presented, just them
Yeah.
in suits. Okay, Mick, what about you? You got a fire starter for us?
Well, so one of my hot takes is that, so you know how they're selling everything all the time, right? They're calling up all these people. Had it been women answering the phone, I do not think they would have ever made it to where they're at. Because as far as women goes, our bullshit meter is pretty high.
Yeah.
And that's why they were always like trying to get them off the wives would be like, who are you talking to?
Yeah.
And they're like, no, because I don't.
Consult your wife for this?
Yeah, they
Yeah.
didn't want
They
that.
did say that.
So I don't think, had it been women that they were targeting, they would have ever made the money.
So
that
the
they did.
time had a lot of, because men would, you know, kind of be a little more controlling over the household. Or
Yeah,
whatever.
exactly. And I don't think it would work now.
Okay.
I mean, I feel like you have to, do it in different ways, but that's one of my hot takes.
B, what do you got? Thanks, Mick. That was a fun first hot take.
My hot take is,
Fire starter.
oh, sorry, fire starter.
Excuse me.
Leave the business to anyone but Donnie. Literally, when his decision was to leave the business, anybody but Donnie would have been a better choice.
For sure.
Donnie was irresponsible, always on like crazy amounts of drugs, and he didn't handle the situations even when on drugs as good as Jordan.
Yeah, that felt like a very emotional choice, right? Versus a logical choice.
He was definitely like close with him in a way that they were always like doing all their drugs and everything, but like logistically, it doesn't really make any
Like
sense.
the meeting with, I can't remember the name where he got him arrested. That whole situation could have been avoided if, I know you said he was sober, but even sober, he's a dumbass.
Yeah.
Like where he got Brad arrested.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
Like, even he knew he fucked up. Like, why leave the business to him? Leave it to anybody else but that motherfucker.
All right. So my next fire starter is that these guys, especially the warehouse scene where they're all just like calling random people in their own homes, these guys were the OG auto warranty scam.
For sure.
They were the original, like, I'm sorry, your auto warranty is
I
about
like
to
to talk to you
expire.
about
Your car warranty.
Car warranty.
Yeah.
Yes, this was how that started. They were like, hey, I'd like to talk to you about stocks. And that everything has grown in time from that.
For sure. Because I literally, the whole time, I'm like, what the fuck is the purpose of these guys? Like, you're the middleman for what?
They're
and so
cold calls.
it honestly made me think of, like, you go to a casino and you place a bet and there's a middleman for some fucking reason. Like, what are you doing? Now you're taking my money in?
They
Like,
just get a percentage.
yeah, I just don't really see the point of it.
Exactly. They're
Because
scammers.
they don't have any fucking
And
knowledge of it, really.
Obviously,
I mean,
brokers are still scammers. Like
they are.
Don't come for us, brokers.
Allegedly.
All right, Mick, what you got for your next fire starter?
Well, let me see. So this actually did strike me.
Okay.
So remember when he's talking about when you're going to be at a red light and the guy in the Porsche is going to pull up with his hot wife, right? And you're sitting next to your wildebeest, which is what he said, with 3-day leg prickle or whatever the hell. And you're going to be wishing that that was your life. It's so crazy to me because people honestly think that that's what everybody wants. When I see a Porsche pull up to me, I think, what a douche.
Yeah.
And I'm in my limited edition Ford Explorer. So, like, but
Hated his car. I hated the white Corvette
yeah,
the whole
and
time.
I mean,
That
it's
wasn't a
crazy to
Corvette.
me
That was a Ferrari.
He
I apologize.
He can't possibly fathom having, like, a life with his wife and kids and not making him happy. He can't fathom it because in his world, whenever he sees a guy with a Porsche, that's what he wants. He doesn't give a fuck about the hot wife and his 2 children. I mean,
Doesn't
that was
matter
very
who-
clear in the movie.
It doesn't matter who's in the passenger seat as long as he's in the driver's seat.
Exactly. Like, he doesn't care. And it was so crazy to me because I've been at red lights where people have pulled up in those cars, and never once have I ever thought, I wish I had that.
Yeah.
So that was one that actually, like, bothered me.
What about you, B? You got another fire starter for us?
Well, I already touched on one where I said the lifestyle hypothetically is fun, but looks fucking exhausting.
Yeah.
But I also have arguably the best parts of the movie were when there was naked women on the screen.
Such a man response.
Such a man response. But, like, I want to add to that for a second. Like, I do think if you take out some of that excitement, some of that naked women, some of
Would
that
not be as good.
eye-catchy stuff, there's not a ton of, like, real deepness to this movie.
Well, there's also not a reason to watch it.
Right.
So, because me and Jim had this conversation. Jim's my husband. in
My
case you
brother.
didn't know.
Ugh.
Yeah. So we were talking about, because it does bother me that they paint him in a certain light.
Yeah.
Right? Like, why did we have Leonardo DiCaprio play him? Because the only reason anybody would watch it is because Leonardo DiCaprio is playing him. Otherwise, everybody's like, who's this fucking douchebag? Like,
Yeah.
nobody cares. So you kind of have to have it be like your best people and your best work. And
you'd be like, you don't invest that deep into any of the characters, but you're entertained by the quaaludes and the naked women and the what's going to happen next and him getting tied down on a plane. All of that is objectively
Like the plane.
entertaining.
And also, they kind of, like, show you the dark side of it. Like, in the first half, like, it's up, up, up. And then in the second half, it's like, oh, shit. Like, it's not
Yeah.
very fun anymore.
Okay, so here's my next one. Don't come for me, but Jordan Belfort is essentially a cult leader of dumb rich white guys.
For sure. I mean, that could very well translate to what we see today, right?
Had he chose to make this a religion versus a business, he would have had just a following because of the way he presents. He speaks so well that people will follow him to the death.
No, men will follow him.
But also, like, you...
No, there was women there. There was that.
Not a lot, though. I mean,
No, there wasn't a lot.
Right, there might be a few.
Like the lady that had her head shaved for $10,000.
Which was crazy.
Yeah, I was like, Jess, how much would it
That's
cost?
insane,
How much
right?
would you accept for to shave your head? And she's like, not $10,000.
Not $10,000.
But to be honest, I think she was just trying to, like,
Fit in.
with
Yeah,
the
peer
crowd,
pressure.
right? Yeah.
Adult peer pressure.
She looked like she was about to
so
cry the whole
what
time.
I talked to
great
like Jim about, I literally said this was like, it's like your older sibling is like hanging out with her friends, right?
Yeah.
and you want to like fit in and like be like, oh yeah, I want to do that too. And to me, that's what it seemed like. She was probably a new employee, and he's like, dude, I'll give you a $10,000 bonus if you shave your head.
You could see it in her eyes after everybody walked away.
Yeah.
It's
Not
like,
thrilled,
that
not thrilled
wasn't
at all.
Shouldn't have
possibly
done
worth
that.
it.
Yeah.
But also, I just want to add to my like cult statement of even after he got out of jail, his fallout, everything went away. People still showed up to listen to him talk because of who he was and how he spoke. And I think that is like what makes a cult leader. I'm sorry.
It is. You've got to be a real good salesman.
That's my last personal fire starter. I do have one quote I would like to talk about. Do you have any more fire starters, Mick?
Okay. Oh, I did want to compare this. Have you ever seen the movie Blow?
I have actually seen the movie Blow, believe it or not.
So the scene where he's on the yacht with the FBI agent and he's like bribing him and talking about like he, in his mind, he thinks he has the upper hand and like he thinks he's hanging on every word, right?
Yeah.
Coach Taylor.
Yes.
Right?
Great choice for that FBI agent.
So, and then he like leans in and he's like, say that again.
Yeah.
Exactly how you said it before.
Yeah.
Like, he gave him, like, he couldn't even pick up on it.
Well, it was like, that goes back to my last statement of the cult leader. This was one of the few times that he was not, quote unquote, the smartest man in the room. Mm-hmm. And the cop made him feel like he was the smartest man in the room.
He hated it. It freaked him out.
He threw a
and
fit.
So, I don't know if you
Literal passion.
remember, like, when Depp is pleading his case to the judge, and he says, like, you know, the plant that I carried across the imaginary line, you know, I wish I could remember the whole thing. But basically, it's not a big deal.
It's a sales
It ain't me,
pitch.
babe. It ain't me. And she's like, well, unfortunately for you, the line that you crossed is real, and the plant that you carried across it is illegal. So it just really reminded me of that. Like that,
love
where
that
you
thought.
think that, like, you're smarter than the person you're talking to, and they come back at you.
And it's similar to, it just relates like drug dealers, cult leaders, business owners at that extent. They can all have very similar traits, right?
Yeah, for sure.
All right, switch it up a little bit and talk about my favorite quote from the movie.
I am okay with that.
So the scene where he says, sell me this pen. Hear me out. And the guy says he's so distracted by ketchup and he just wants his ketchup bottle filled and he doesn't really fucking want to be there. But he says, hey, write your name down. And the guy says, I don't have a pen. And he says, supply and demand. I think that that is such an underrated statement to the entirety of business, cults, everything we've talked about here, all the different versions of who these males are that gain this power. That is such a basic breakdown of like, they figured out, if I ask you to write your name down, you need this pen, I'm going to hold on to the pen. That quote is so off the hook that it comes back. I know it comes back full circle and he does it in his speech, but I think that speaks to, he doesn't really change, right? Yeah. He goes to jail. He loses his wife, both of them.
Jail is a bold comment. I don't think it was really jail.
Well, technically it was prison, but it was like rich man prison.
White
prison.
Straight man prison.
Yeah, but I mean, just the very basics of, at the end of the day, he goes through all of that and he comes back to
the same
exact, sell me this pen.
He'd do it all again in a heartbeat.
He would do it all again in a heartbeat.
He doesn't care who he's ripping off.
And so I think that line, for multiple reasons, A, supply and demand is the key to sales. B, it speaks so much to that culture. And C, it just shows he would do it all again. I think that line is incredibly important for me. Do you have any quotes that stood out to you?
I do. I have a quote that stood out to me. So it's when he's on the yacht with the FBI agents, remember?
Yeah, absolutely.
He said, when you sail on a boat made for a Bond villain, sometimes you need to play the part, right? And that one stuck out to me because it's like, he literally was like taking on that character.
Yep.
Like when you literally sail
Here's
on a
the
boat
women,
made for
here's
a
the
Bond villain,
booze.
you have to play the part.
Yes. Oh, I love that.
Yeah, so that one stuck out to me.
Yeah. So I'd like to switch up, go into our bold moves, which is changes that we would make to the move, maybe a rewritten ending, switching out a character, switching out an actor, a major plot shift. It's a little harder with this movie because it is based on a true story, right? So we're just judging a story that really happened and their portrayal of it.
Yeah.
But I do have a couple things. They're small, but I do have a couple things I'd like to share. B, do you have anything you wanted to kick us off with?
I only have one bold move that I would make, and it would be not divorce the first wife. She seemed the most level-headed person in the whole movie.
For sure. She did.
Yeah.
She had a conscience. She gave a shit.
But I have an argument. I have a counter argument to that.
What's your counter argument?
It pisses me off that it took her that long to realize that the changes he had gone through. I don't think she did not catch on to the drug use, the prostitution, all of the other things. I think that the only reason she called him out on it was because she knew he actually loved Naomi. I think she would have let him keep going had he
But the
not fallen
bracelet
in love.
happened before Naomi, and she's like, hey, why are you robbing poor people?
But in between the bracelet and Naomi were new houses, so many prostitutes, so many drugs, new city, new changes, new all of this. And
I would love...
My understanding, I do think that she has came out and talked about it. You can, fact
I was going to say,
check here.
I would love to see if she has like a book or something on her point of view.
But she had said she wasn't equipped to deal with that type of
lifestyle? Or
addiction.
Oh.
And it was, they were in their early 20s. You got to think she was probably, 22?
Yeah, 100%.
Just a baby.
But I guess my only point is, like, the way the movie portrayed it specifically. Mm-hmm. They made it seem like she was chill until Naomi.
And see, that's my problem with the movie in itself, because I think it's consistently based off of his perspective.
Okay.
And I would like to hear more perspectives. Like, because
there's no way, right?
Okay, so I'm thinking of, like, the scene, remember Steve Madden?
Yes.
Comes in and he's selling the shoe.
Yeah, yeah.
And they start, like, throwing shit at him.
Yeah.
And then he puts his
And he
arm around him and
takes
he's
it
like,
over.
it's okay. But only because he was there to save the day.
Right.
It just seems fucking full of shit to me. Like, I feel like there's a lot of stuff that was full of shit. And I think that maybe that's what Scorsese was trying to do.
Yeah.
Is, like, show us what a piece of shit he is.
So, to go back to your bold move, I would actually go the opposite. I think she stayed too long.
I just feel like if she obviously had a conscience, in my opinion, she clearly was like, hey, don't rob the poor.
But that wasn't going to change him, is my point.
I know, but I feel like she was hoping like that would have been like, don't do this. And then, I don't know,
But I guess you're seeing it from the perspective of had he stayed with her, he would have been better.
If he had a conscience,
I don't think he would have ever been better.
No. But I would like to think that her conscience could have rubbed out. I don't know. Probably not.
I'll do a little tiny bold move, a change to a scene that I would make just for my personal comfort. It's small. It wouldn't have changed the movie, but the motherfucker did not have to eat the goldfish to fire the guy.
No, that
I would have.
She was fucked up.
I would have taken that part out just for my own personal. That's incredibly unnecessary. We don't.
I wonder if he actually ate the goldfish, or if that was like.
I don't know, but there was a lot of that where it was like, do we really?
Did we need
to have
this?
that? But I think it was almost to show how
Ridiculous
big of pieces of shit these people were.
All right, Mick, what about you? What's your first bold move you got for us, girl?
Well, my bold move is already what I've said is like, how realistic is it? Is it based off the book? Is it based off people who knew him? Like, what is this based off of? Because, he's the typical narcissist.
Yeah.
He's obviously going to want it to, like, he loved the fact that Leo played him. Like, that's just going to be his thing.
So your bold move would to be have more other perspectives included in the storytelling.
Yeah, I think basing it off of his perspective is how we got that movie. I think it'd be entirely different if
I
we
think
had perspectives of other people.
on that same note, when they had the moment where he talked to the female about the money he loaned her, and that moment was supposed to show their connection to him and their devotion to him, I think had they really wanted us to buy into that, they should have shown that earlier. They should have actually let us live that moment.
Well, I think there's a reason they didn't.
Right.
Is because you saw it for what it was.
Because
it
it
wasn't
was-
a kindness of his heart. It was, hey, I bought you this, you fucking owe me.
For life.
Right? So don't say shit. I mean, that's kind of how it was. The other thing that I was going to say, the only other thing I think is my bold change was how people were upset about it being glamorized, right? But I think that's kind of how you have to show it is you start on a high, like you're fucking on top of the world. You're making millions of dollars. You can do whatever you want. You could have whatever you want. So it starts on a high and then it ends on a low. And I don't think it's really glamorizing it when you show the other aspects of it.
Okay, that's our bold moves. I think that's all of our opinions on like changes and stuff. B, how about some trivia? You got some questions for Mick and I?
All right, I got a few.
I think first question should go to Mick. It's our first episode.
Oh, I those
Sounds
guys you
good.
both.
Oh, okay. All right.
You go back and forth.
Let's go back and forth.
All right, Mick, what's the name of the company Jordan builds once he starts popping off?
Was it Stratum or what was it?
You tell us.
Stratum or
I don't know.
Stratum?
Give us a guess.
Stratum and Company or something.
Do you want the answer?
Yeah. What
Yeah.
Was it?
Stratton Oakmont.
Oh,
Stratton.
fuck.
Yeah.
Stratton Oakmont. There's no and. I just add the and.
Just out of curiosity, do we know why he chose that?
Because he wanted it to sound fancy.
Oh, so he just chose words.
Yeah, then he put like the lion symbol
Are you
in there.
guessing
Yeah.
that or?
No, that's what he was
Yeah.
Okay.
saying. Jess.
Remember they had the lion walking through?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just didn't know if those words meant anything to him.
Probably not. I don't think it much.
No,
does.
he's just trying to sound like a fancy, rich, over the top.
Aristocrat.
Yeah. How does Jordan first meet Donnie?
Jordan, they live on the same floor of the same building, but Donnie approaches him in a restaurant and they meet that way. But Donnie had already seen them in their apartment building, so I don't know which answer you're looking
I
for.
was looking for the diner.
Okay.
Well, that's when
Yeah.
they first
Because
talked.
also Donnie had a sick ass like suit, like his
Yeah.
windsuit or whatever it
Oh,
was.
dude, when they confront the gay butler in
the
the
purple-
apartment, the purple suspenders,
Jess had a
I
thing
made a
with him.
scene.
It's legit.
They're so sick. Sorry.
So-
All right, B, what you got next for us?
Yes. Oh, I got a bunch more. All right, Jess. What country does Jordan go to when he's trying to move his money around?
Sweden.
No.
No.
When he's trying to move his money?
Hmm.
Switzerland, Jess.
Hey.
Oh, I guess I went Swedish bank, Switzerland.
Switzerland is the correct answer. Mick, what nickname does Jordan give his team?
His team
His group of people.
I don't know that one.
what's it start with?
S?
Sweden.
Well, Jess's answer for every question is Sweden.
Sexy
Yes.
motherfuckers.
Yes.
No, they're the Strattonite.
Gay.
Well, that's hella lame.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty
Checks
cool.
out for them.
All right, Jess. This is an easy one. If you get this wrong,
I'll take a
don't-
drink.
you have to take a shot.
Okay.
What kind of stocks are they selling mainly?
Penny stocks.
There you go.
I'll take a drink anyway.
All right, Mick. What super expensive car does he drive during that wild scene from the country club?
Well, we talked about this because I was mad.
Is it a Lamborghini?
You got it right.
Lambo!
I actually got this wrong. Jess called it a Corvette. I'm like, no, it's a Ferrari. And then I'm like, wait, no, it's actually not a Ferrari.
It's like an 80s Lambo,
Yeah.
right?
You can tell
With
by
the
the doors.
suicide doors?
Yeah.
Objectively, it's ugly.
It is, but also I would drive the shit out of it.
Yeah,
Right?
because you want to go fast.
Yeah. Shifting gears.
Hell yeah. All right. Thank
That
you,
was
B.
good.
Those were good ones. So, Mick, I know that you haven't got to do this with us yet, but next we roll for movie.
Ooh, right now?
Yeah, so I would like
Do
you
it.
to do the honor. So I'm going to explain it to you while I explain it to the listeners here. The first dice we roll is a 12-sided dice, and that gives us the genre. We have 12 genres up here. So I need you to roll that D12 and then
Alrighty.
tell me what that says.
It says a 3, Jesse.
Okay, so actually, this is wonderful because 3 happens to be what we were previously calling family suggestions.
Okay.
Those family suggestions happen to come directly from a specific family member for me, which happens to be my sister-in-law. Do you know her name by any chance?
No. Is it Mickey?
It is you.
Oh, I love this.
I'm going to have you roll a d10 here, which is a 10-sided dice, and that's going to show us which on the list of your suggestions we'll watch next.
I'm pumped it was my list. 8. Number 8.
Silver Lining Playbook.
Fucking A. Hella good movie.
Silver Lining Playbook.
Silver Linings Playbook, Mick.
Bradley Cooper and Jennifer Lawrence, and Robert De Niro. Really good movie.
I know all of those actors. I've never seen this movie.
Hella good
So,
movie.
what we'd like to do is go ahead and throw those nostalgia goggles back on. Since it's your suggestion, your movie, Mick, kick us off with like what this movie means to you. What do you think about when you hear this name?
So I love it because they're kind of like two crazy people that work, right? Like she comes.
Also, don't give me any spoilers.
I won't, but she comes into his family, and at first they don't accept her. But I love the superstition with the sports. You'll see when you watch it, but overall, I just love that it's like two crazy people
Yeah.
that fall in love, and it works.
So can I just tell the listeners that you're smiling talking about this movie, and
love
I
this
fully
movie.
appreciate that. Like
Love
that
this
means this
movie.
means something to you, and the fact that you rolled it on your first movie with us, like
That's so cool.
it's so awesome. So I'll give a little nostalgia really quick. Never seen it. I know it's a sports movie, and I know the actors you just named, and I love sports. I love sports movies, and I love the names
So
you just said.
you'll probably get a little bit of comparison with me and Jim.
Oh,
And then me get so she has to get along with Robert De Niro,
okay.
and I feel like that's your dad at some
Yeah.
points, right? You have to like.
Don't compare no Bilbo to Robert De Niro.
I mean, yeah, but that's all I have to compare it to at this moment.
It's fair.
So, because you brought it up, well, first of all, what do you got on? And have you seen this movie before?
Never seen it, never heard of it.
But it's about football, right?
Well, it's more of like a love story a little bit, but yeah, football's in there hardcore.
I like football.
Okay.
Love movies.
Oh, so we have football there for you.
I do have some non-spoiler.
Well,
fun
hold on,
facts.
really quick. Before you skip to that, let me just say this. I might regret saying this. I'm going to try to convince either Jim, your husband, or Bo, your father-in-law, my dad, to join us for the review of this episode.
So you should ask Jim because this is one of his favorites. As
Oh,
well.
perfect.
Yeah, me and him argued about which list it was going to be on.
Oh, because he's also, just so
loves it, too.
the listeners understand, he's making us a list to add to the genre because he loves movies. So maybe we can get Jim to join us to like talk about this
I
movie.
think we can.
That would be awesome. Okay, give us some fun facts, some set secrets about.
Oh, set. All right. So the first fun fact I have is it's based on a real book. The movie comes from a novel written by Matthew Quick. So the story already had a strong foundation before becoming a film.
I didn't know that. I
You're
genuinely.
talking about Silver Linings Playbook?
Yeah.
Okay.
I genuinely had heard of the movie. Didn't know there was a book.
I didn't know that either. Actually, I should read it.
Jennifer Lawrence almost didn't get the role.
I love J-Lo.
Who was the second up?
Well, I don't know that.
Oh.
She was considered too young at first, but her audition completely changed the director's mind, and it ended up being one of her most iconic roles.
For sure.
Which is weird because I know who she is, but I've never seen this or even heard about this
That's
movie.
so crazy because Bradley Cooper, I mean, they're two A-list celebrities.
Now.
It's incredible.
They were then, too.
All
Or
right.
at least he was.
So the third thing is the director really pushed for authenticity. David O. Russell worked closely with the actors to make the characters feel real and grounded, especially in emotional scenes. That's interesting. Sounds like it's
Because-
gonna be a good movie.
Because like you work in that type of environment, both of you do. They both have like major like emotional problems.
mental health.
Yes. Yeah,
Holy
yeah.
shit. All right. Oh yeah, I got 2 more.
Okay.
4. It was a huge awards contender.
Oh.
The film was nominated in all 4 acting categories at the Oscars, which is super rare
Yeah.
and shows how strong the performances are across the board.
It also shows
Checks
how
out.
little I watch the Oscars.
Or movies in general.
Hey, here we are. Here we are.
All right. Number 5 and last fun fact is the dancing took serious prep. Apparently, there's dancing.
Oh, okay.
I do love that.
Good dancing.
Adorable.
Even though it doesn't look overly flashy, the actors had to train and rehearse quite a bit to make everything feel natural and believable on the screen.
Okay. So those are things you could think about going into that, Mick,
For sure.
your rewatch. And I just wanted to say before we cut everything off, it was so wonderful having you here with us today, and your perspective of movies just really adds to this list. And it's one of the reasons we're doing this whole journey, really. And so thank you so much for joining us.
Well, thanks for having me. I love that you guys invited me. I do love a movie, and I do love a Jess and a Brian. So
Yeah.
here we are.
And we love a Mick. And I'm hoping that we get you back to review this movie. And if we play our cards right, we can have your grumpy husband join us as well.
Yeah. I'll give him a pinch and tell him.
All right. Thank you, everybody.
To end the episode.
Oh, we would like to
Cheers.
do a cheers.
Cheers,
And
ladies.
after the cheers, thank you, everybody, for joining us. We really enjoy sharing these experiences with you. And everybody go ahead and roll for movie.